My point is like when I've finished writing my novel, I'm going to have to do a Kickstarter to fund it because I'm going to publish it myself.
You're going to do a physical, actual thing.
Yes. So it was like, what would possibly be my stretch goals? I mean, okay, I could do a hardcover of the book.
Well,
or I could put your name in the back. Sure.
There's a theory that, and I don't know if it's a theory, but there are some that don't do stretch goals.
I was just about to say, I had just looked it up actually to make sure before I said it that is true. One of the last ones that
I thought you were just dicking around on your phone.
No, I was looking up legitimate stuff. The last one I had backed didn't have any stretch goals at all. Like, because I was thinking about it and I was like, I backed that, and I think they made over, like, I think they made well over or what they were trying to, but I don't think they had any stretch goals. I think it's like, we're going to make this book,
or we're going to try.
We're going to try to make this book. I think they may have already had. I think like they were going to make the book regardless of Kickstarter
Pre-orders.
Yeah, it was definitely a pre-order.
Well, that's fine.
But they didn't have any incentive for people to keep on giving them money. I think they were like, well, if we make over, then maybe we'll be able to make a second book.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe.
Yeah.
And this, Mark, is where those third parties come in handy, because if you just want to do your book, how you got to get it out there? That's
Right.
that's
my audience right now is whoever listens to this show and maybe wants to read my book.
Yes.
Right.
The
So-
droves.
That's where these companies that are, hiring out, saying, hey, we'll help get your Kickstarter moving. That's where they're utilizing social media skills that people that are hey, I'll start a Kickstarter, but I don't know how to use Facebook. Because there are
Or
those
you just
people.
don't have a presence.
Are you
Or
going
you
to
just
hire
don't
me,
have a
Mark?
presence.
I know how to use Facebook.
Are you going to hire me?
Yeah, she needs a job.
I'm a social media guru.
That's why she was brought on the Gamers Table.
Mark knows how to use Facebook by signing in. That's about it.
I sign in, I see if anybody left me any messages, and I turn that shit off.
Yeah, see, that's not using
That's
Facebook.
how you
And then-
use your
and-
personal Facebook.
And then he flushes the toilet.
Yes.
I will say right up, I check my Facebook while I'm on the can.
But I mean,
On my
there is a a legitimate thing. Kickstarter would not exist if it were not for all the social media graces. If it were not for that being able to spread across
Well,
Facebook and Twitter.
Right.
I mean,
I'm not gonna lie. There's been a lot of Kickstarters that I had no clue that was going on until somebody posted it on Twitter or something. I was like, what is this?
The only Kickstarter that I have backed, and I am sad to say that I forgot the name.
Talking about the zombie card game?
The zombie card game. That my
Zombie
book-
Shuffle.
Zombie Shuffle.
I just looked that up. Yeah.
Good, thank you, because I left my phone in the other room. My friend Blaze Sewell, he also knows Dave, made this game called Zombie Shuffle. It's based on a 52-card regular old deck, so you could theoretically play it with your regular old cards.
And they're nice.
Yeah,
They're really nice.
and yeah, they are really nice because some of the buy-in levels was like if you buy in at I think $200 and send us a picture, we'll make you one of the suited jacks or
Nice.
queens or whatnot. So yeah.
Yeah, every card gets a face, and I mean it was really nice, and that was one of those ones where I wanted to contribute, but I didn't have any cash on me for it. So I just spread the word all over my Art Monkey World Facebook and all over Twitter and all over every
You're part of the machine.
every page
Right.
that I could send it out to. I did.
Yeah, so I ended up buying in at $20, which is what I could spare. See,
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons. It's the only Kickstarter I bought into is because I routinely don't have any money.
Eric just made me feel really bad right before the show today, and he showed me the Traveler 5 book that I would just love to have gotten, but it was $100 for the hardcover. And Mark, check this out. Look at that thing.
God.
That is the book to which all other RPG books.
That
will
wasn't
now
the book.
be.
That was me dropping my Johnson.
Boom. And that thing is awesome. What? That didn't have $100.
That looks like the book Indiana Jones breaks out in Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's got the belt on it.
Oh, I got a picture of it right here.
Yeah, it's like, good God.
And that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that book, Dave, was called the Bible.
Yes. It is. It's almost like the Gutenberg Bible of
It's not
RPG
the Bible
games.
he was breaking out there.
It's the Book of the
Yeah,
Dead.
what?
There you go. The Necronomicon.
But yeah, if it wasn't Traveler, I wouldn't have backed it.
Right.
Yeah, it's the brand recognition. You're starting to get these things that are brand recognized on Kickstarter. Traveler, Call of Cthulhu, Monty Cook, things that gamers, they know these things.
But you know what? That backfires too sometimes because it was just a few weeks ago there was a big backlash because Zach Braff went on Kickstarter and started a Kickstarter for a movie he wanted to fund.
Right.
and everybody came back to him and said, "You know what? This is bullshit. You are Zach Braff. You know, you have a major name recognition, even more so than a lot of these gaming companies.
Absolutely.
You could go into a movie studio and say, I got an idea for a movie. I want to pitch it and get funding. You could go to, you know, one of the indie film festivals and get funding to come to
which he's already done
I
twice.
think-
Yeah, I know.
I think it was that in addition to, like, there was also the Veronica Mars movie.
Right. And
Right.
I know the guys from Monkey in the Cage, they talked about this in one of their articles. The whole thing about it is putting it on Kickstarter removes the obligation to the producer.
It really does.
And so then all of a sudden you've got, and you're giving these schlubs, you know, who are, hey, Zach Braff, I love Zach Braff. I'll throw in $100. I'll throw in $1,000, and I'll get a T-shirt out of it, or I'll get this
Or DVD that I would buy anyway.
But if instead of giving these trinkets out, you know, to the natives, then if they were to give points on the movie like they would a producer, then these people would get a return on their investment. And they're not. They're not going to get any kind of a return on their investment.
Right.
And that's the big knock on movie houses doing this, because they're having you pay twice to see a movie.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be paying whatever to get whatever exclusive, let's say.
It's not like they're going to invite your ass to the premiere anyway.
Exactly.
Well, it's like everybody
Unless
that
that's
invested,
a stretch goal.
It could be a stretch goal, or, you know, like if you kick in $10,000.
everybody that invested money in the original Evil Dead eventually got their money back and then some. At first, they didn't think they were ever going to see that cash again.
Right.
But it has so made, you know, their money back tenfold.
Right.
by
And now let's put it into a business perspective. Let's say that the next Google decides to do a Kickstarter, and instead of their secretaries and everybody ended up being millionaires because they got stock,
a T-shirt.
They got a T-shirt.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the fear, is that you're making it so the fat cats get more money and those who get into the ground level
And-
don't get anything.
Being a proletarian, I'm against it.
I don't really feel like it's necessarily the fat cats, depending on who is putting out there. Like, a lot of times it's the artist. Like,
Sure, absolutely.
You know,
and I think that's what it's intended to be.
yeah, because I was going to say with Zach Braff's, I mean, I use the term artist loosely with him.
Wow. Okay.
He does kind of look like a paintbrush.
I actually personally
Suddenly
like
just
Zach
got
Braff.
harsh.
Have you met him? He might be a dick.
I personally like Zach Braff, and I love Scrubs. I love his body of work, but I'm using the term
And his
loosely.
body.
You just
And his body.
what are you talking about? Where are we going with this?
She's getting verklempt.
Garden State.
Garden State.
Yes, that one.
No, but I mean,
what
I'm-
the Kickstarter's for. It's for the sequel to Garden State.
Oh,
Didn't we say all we needed to say with the first Garden State?
Yeah.
Wasn't there so much more said with the first Garden State that needed to be
This is
said?
probably true.
You know, but I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, I understand where, as an individual, as an artist, he may be coming from,
Right.
but he does have other avenues open to him that aren't exploiting little people.
right.
Right. Right.
And
But
even if he's
you're not
inadvertently doing it,
You're not
it's still
exploiting
going to happen.
people who want to. The people who backed Veronica Mars is because they loved the show Veronica Mars and they want to see a Veronica Mars movie.
Right.
I right now would back another X-Files movie, or
Especially since the last one was awful.
well, yeah. And there's a lot of people out there who would back a Firefly movie.
I was to say,
Oh, yeah.
Firefly.
Yeah.
All you would have to do is throw that out there, and it would first day funded.
Right. $20, and my reward is getting the DVD. I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah.
You know, but the internet is democratizing. That it gives little people power. It can give little people power.
It also gives every jerk off with a blog a position to basically destroy you.
Case in point, us.
Yes. Well, that's the nature of publicity. I mean,
Right.
how many tabloid rags have ruined people's lives,
Yeah.
you know, or
Right.
killed people?
I knew it was all over when the news started quoting bloggers.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, people just, whether or not you place value on where somebody puts their information is kind of irrelevant. I mean, if the information is valid.
Right.
you
Well,
know.
and that's the thing is that, you know, a lot of times, you know, it's like when CNN, for whatever it is they're doing now, when they first started their iPhone app, so it's like, you know, film something, live news happening, send it to us, and we'll put it on the air. You know, everybody was like, oh, that fucking sucks, you know, but
Cameraman had no idea what was headed their way.
yeah, no, but you know what? There are, how many times is there something major happening somewhere and it takes a camera crew 45 minutes to an hour to get there? By the time they're there, it's over and done with, you know?
Right.
Like the meteor in Russia that just
Right.
a little bit ago. Like, I know you and I, me and Dave, were talking on Twitter as it happened because, we were
too.
up because it was the middle of the night. And we were just, like, seeing these cell phone videos and, like, watching it update as it happened.
Right.
And the same thing with the Boston Marathon bombings.
Right.
Like,
I mean, the internet gives you. So you're saying the fat cats? I mean, the fat cats will use whatever because they can.
Right.
But you and I,
Yes.
the people at this table, we cannot pool our money together and create something gigantic.
No, that's why we
would-
created this.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So that's why we need the internet.
Right.
Okay, and Kickstarter is just another avenue.
It's the great equalizer.
Yes.
Can be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think that Kickstarter has done way more good than bad when it comes to letting artists express themselves, self-promote, and self-produce. Because then you don't need to go like Mark. You don't need to go to a publishing house to publish a book anymore. I mean, you can self-publish, you could e-publish. You don't have to do any of that old stuff, and that's why a lot of the print producers are going out of business.
Right. Who would have thought very similar to this is Drive-Thru RPG is gigantic.
Right.
I mean, that's where a lot of people get their stuff now, but they don't even make print books anymore because of the overhead.
Right.
That's another concern of mine. Is if one of the if the entry level goal of my Kickstarter is a PDF copy of the book, well, are you going to be able to open that up on your Kindle? Maybe not. Are you going to be able to open that on your iPad? Maybe not.
That's why you got to have all kinds of formats.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's up to Dave.
Yeah, e-reading e-reading is still in its infancy now. It's like VHS.
Dave
Betamax.
just became Catholic.
But in a lot of ways, Kickstarter can be for the collector. Let's say this Traveler book,
I'll probably never get one.
but
You suck.
this could be. And I don't know. I don't know what Mr. What's his name? Miller.
Yeah,
I don't know
the original creator of Traveler.
Right. I don't know what Mr. Miller's plan is for Traveler 5. It could just be
That
PDF from now on. And the only way to get it in hard copy was to back the Kickstarter. And if it gets to that point where, you're only going to be able to get books if you originally back it on Kickstarter, it could very well come to that.
becomes very collectible at that point.
Exactly
too.
right. Exactly right.
I could put my book out with a special collector's edition Dave Carr cover.
There you go.
There you go. I like this. I like where
you get 10%.
Original.
I like where your head's at.
10%.
Make him do each one individually, so
Right.
they're all unique.
Everybody, yes, a unique.
I'm not sure I'm down with that. I may need more than 10%
Really
for that.
not up to you at this point.
Crap.
you already
It's
agree.
snowballing. You're losing control.
All right, just give me a check. I'll do whatever.
All right.
Sold himself for money.
He sold
That's
himself for
definition
less.
of an artist. That's what we do.
And a prostitute.
There's not much of a difference these days.
Prostitutes make more.
Yes.
They also tend to do more drugs and they have more diseases.
Then artists? Blasphemy.
Oh, I don't believe
The good artists.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
The good
okay.
artists.
Are there any others that Kickstarters that we've backed that we haven't mentioned yet? I know my very, very first one was the Dungeon Dice by Inkwell Designs.
Dungeon Dice. We backed the Shadowrun.
Oh, yeah. How's that coming along?
They're still working on it. It's the turn-based game.
Catalyst?
Yeah,
No, they're not. I don't
it's
think
not Catalyst. No, it's not Catalyst.
What's the Shadowrun?
Van Pro.
It's
I looked at that one.
computer game.
It's the computer, the old computer game.
Oh,
That'd be
okay.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Path-
especially since the last one sucked so bad.
The Pathfinder Online is the only thing I ever got in on.
Pathfinder Online.
The
we
only reason
talked
I
about.
backed it is because one of the things they're going to give is a special weapon in game.
See?
I figured
Yeah,
I had to have it.
Yeah,
so
that's right. It's special weapon.
only the people that back it get this weapon. So I was like,
We've
gotta
got
have
Sword of
it.
Duquesne.
Yeah.
Right. We backed Numenera. We backed.
Talk about people who really didn't need your help.
Right. We backed Achtung Cthulhu, which is a World War II
And
Cthulhu
we're
game.
never going to get to play any of these games.
Exactly right.
Except for Lords of Gossamer's Shadowmark.
Well,
Be
and
prepared to not bring your dice.
there is one Kickstarter.
As long as I don't have to bring cards.
That's right.
One Kickstarter that's on the horizon.
Okay.
Hasn't been released yet. He's still kind of in the early
yes,
phases. Mark Plemons and his Corporea.
Yeah, it's yes, yeah. He came on our show and talked all about it.
Right. Well, he was looking at the time. He was looking for a game producer. Now
That's the
he's
sucker's bet now.
right.
Why
He's-
bother?
He doesn't need it anymore. So Corporea is going to be out there probably soon. I don't know if he's going to get it in before Gen Con or not, but we'll definitely get in on that one whenever it comes out too.
See, that's the problem. I was you look at these things and they do such a good job of selling it, and everything looks so great, and then you realize, I know I'm never going to get to play Traveler 5. Do I really need a $100 book?
You're never going to read through that whole book, man.
I can't.